Yo, what's good? Game on, Wisconsin. Welcome back to Coast Packers. I'm Bernie Bango. I'm here with Umar Desai. And we're going to talk Packers today because we got a lot of shit going on, man. Holy moly. Dude, it's crazy. You know, I was at work today, and every time I would have a moment to look at my phone, I was like, new notification. It was wild, man. But what about you, Amr? What was your day like? Just seeing the news rolling through?
Bro, I'm thoroughly exhausted. Like I am so tired from just a roller coaster of emotions. Like I knew that. Like I kind of figured like just some like it was really like up, down, 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 up, and then now we're up right now, right? And it's like, holy crap! Like I'm so like it all started off like that's the one that counts. Dog Soder knows what's up, but it's funny like we started off like okay, Campbell's gonna get released, and I kind of we all knew it was coming, but I was definitely like I love the dude. I think he's a good dude. I just think that this last season just sucked, right? And man, like I was kind of hurt about that, but we got a lot of money for it. And then I was really hoping David Bakhtiari would come back. You know what I mean? I've been really steadfast on keeping him, but they released him. We got even more money. I'm like, okay. And it seems like, we were able to get like money invested in places where we needed it, right? Like the biggest thing for me is that losing Aaron Jones really, really, really hurts. Like that one.
Yes, it does.
That one just breaks my heart. Like it hurts like you wouldn't believe. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
I've been a Josh Jacobs guy since he's come out of Alabama. Like this dude's story about like just him being homeless, him being on him having to raise his siblings with his dad, and just like living out of a car, and literally this man has fought for everything, and for him to have an opportunity to come to Green Bay, to a historical organization, and to like kind of showcase his talents with an offense that is a hell of a lot better than what the Raiders were last year. I'm hyped, man. And you know what? And I can't take all the time. I'm just gonna say Xavier McKinney, who I hope like we've tried these Alabama defensive backs in the past. Didn't work out. Maybe this is the good luck one, right? But this is the guy that they had. I felt like every single person that does this stuff that we do, Andy Hearn, Aaron Nagler, Peter Bukowski, everybody has been hyping up this Xavier pick and how he would be great for Jeff Hafley's system. And the fact that we were able to get him, we paid him a shit ton of money, but he was the number one safety out there too. Yeah, my hair is crazy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I am jealous. It's long as hell too, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired, man. Like I am exhausted just with the ups and downs. But definitely agree with Todd. The money was well spent. It sucks for what happened, but man, like this is the new Green Bay Packers. We're out with the old, in with the new, and man, I'm hyped, man. How about you? How do you feel? Yeah. Like, what did you think like about everything?
Dude, when I saw the Josh Jacobs thing, I was like, oh hell yeah, because like everything we've been hearing, right, was like AJ Dillon out. And then I was thinking like within the first 3 rounds, we'll draft a running back, So when I saw the Josh Jacobs signing, I'm like, well, now we don't have to draft one. If AJ goes, whatever, we got Josh. And then it was like an hour later, we got the news that Jones had been released. That crushed my heart, man. I saw some people saying they were more sad about losing Jones than they were either Bakhtiari or Rodgers. I'm in that camp too, man.
I can relate.
I absolutely love Jones. He carried this team. I feel like at the end of the year, he was just a man on a mission. He even said it was like his favorite team or the best team, that he's played for. He just loved the heart of this young team. And so it's like, and then some people were saying, if there's Brewers fans listening, right, they were saying like losing Jones was like when we traded away Hader from the Brewers. It definitely hurts the fandom. It's just like Don here, right? Saying way more sad about Jones than Bach or anyone else combined, times 10 for sure. I'm there with you, Don. I love that guy. He's such a team guy. And my brother though sent me a message. He's like, "Hey, do you think this is like cutting him or releasing him is a way for them to restructure a contract and bring him back? If that's something they can do, or if that's something they discussed beforehand." Todd saying here, though, right? Can't keep players because you love them. It's the NFL. Every team loses some. You got that right. And I felt like I'd already cut my ties with DB. So I was like, all right, I know he's probably gone. And Campbell's another guy I like. So it's just like, you win some, you lose some, right?
Right.
And
I'm with you, man. I think the biggest thing is like we knew like the writing was on the wall when it came to D-Bach, but I was one of those few dudes. I was like, man, like knowing who he is as a person and everything you've said, like you want that kind of dude on your team if his knee's right. But the fact that he was actually let go of the failed physical, it's like, okay, shit, you don't know what you're going to get in 6 months. Are you going to take that chance? And, left tackles that are probably like him, who are all pro, probably one of the top 2 left tackles in the league, they don't grow on trees. So, yeah, I was definitely hurt by that. But I'm not going to lie, man, the Aaron Jones shit like is really still hurting me because he was the lifeblood of that team. Yeah, it sucked that he had injuries, which has kind of been his bugaboo since being in the league. Like you can't really give him a full workload without something kind of going down. But that's the life of a running back in NFL. But man, like when he's on the field, he's absolutely electric, and like our offense just moves with him there. So the cool thing is, if you look at like the comp of Jacobs, Jacobs is like the combination of Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, which I thought was pretty cool. Someone was saying that when it comes from a size perspective, he's kind of like big like AJ, but then from a elusiveness and speed perspective, Jacobs literally was a rushing champion like 2 years ago. So it's not
2022.
So I'm like, it's not like he ain't too far removed from that, and he's still 26 years old, and he's never been an offense that's as high function as it is in Green Bay. So I don't know. His contract too is literally the exact same contract that Aaron Jones got when he was 26 years old. So it's like, what I'm saying? Yeah. We're just basically recycling. And I love the fact that we did make these 2 hires, and we have an opportunity now to go into the draft and not have to feel like we have to reach for anything. Like we can literally like decide to get best player available. I mean, Runyon going to the Giants, that was sad to see. I wasn't going to pay him, 30 million for 3 years. Like, nah, I'm good, man. Yeah. Like, I was like, I love the dude. I love the story. I love the pedigree. But like, at the end of the day, like I always feel like if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And if you're staying the same, then you're also getting worse too, right? And for many, many years in Green Bay, we're always just kind of like doing the same shit, expecting a different result. And, I love Aaron Rodgers, but of course he had a lot to do with that. And you're seeing like Gutekunst really put his stamp on this team, and I'm telling you, man, like I'm really, really excited for what's going to happen here in the next few months. Hell, I'm excited what's going to happen tonight. Like I don't think they're done. Like Jordan Fuller's still out there. I think, Jerome Baker's still out there. There's a lot of good talent that's out there on defense that we can still grab up. And, Goody got money to play with, man. And we still got to wait for the Jordan Love extension. That's coming to in May. And so,
absolutely,
man, but you're right though. I'm not going to lie. Like wherever Aaron Jones go, I do not like, I follow players like to a degree. Like I'm a Packers fan through and through. Right. And if we have certain players that go to other teams like Devontae Adams, Jordy Nelson, and then now you're going to look at Aaron Jones, wherever they go, I'm going to be rooting for them. Not against Green Bay, but wherever those are playing, I'm going to be rooting for them. That man has given – I mean, the dude literally got G tattooed on his freaking leg. Like, he literally was like the epitome of carrying the G. And for – it's like always get out a year too soon, they're a year too late. And I could see that. And I think Soder was mentioning that previously. But, man, like, just – I don't know. It's a new day, man. It's a new era. Goody's literally spending the money in his bag, and I can't be mad because every year we always complain this time of year Green Bay doesn't do anything, and now they're making moves, and it's like, all right, well, here we go, let's go.
Yeah, and you gotta take the saltiness with the sweetness. Hey, yes. the comment section is popping off here. Let's get into some of this. Don says, do you guys think he will get what he wants from another team? And I think that's Jones. and that she's referring to, and
Yeah. So yeah.
it's someone's gonna pay him. You know,
I see him in Houston. I could see a Houston
yeah,
because of them losing Singletary, and then
yeah.
him in that offense would be sick. I'm not gonna lie though, that 30 minutes to 40 minutes of me thinking we get a 1-2 punch had me so freaking hyped. And I'm kind of hoping maybe he doesn't get any money out there, which I know he will, but let's just kind of hold out hope until it happens. What if he? I mean, everything that he said, everything that Gutekunst and LaFleur said was like literally like, all right, man, you're out. Bye. Exactly. Dawn's exactly right. She's 100% right. Like that's, it's close to El Paso, right? Houston is close to El Paso. So I could see that. And Dallas, like, Mike McCarthy never used Aaron Jones when he had him as a rookie. Remember, that was like a bugaboo of his, right? So I don't know if he'd want to go to Dallas, but man, you talk about
they lost Tony Pollard, right? Tony Pollard left Dallas, so they might be looking to bring someone in.
Man, those 8 games though, those 8 games in Dallas, Aaron Jones would probably be like, could you imagine that man would have like 2,100 yards just in 8 games if he ran for 300 yards every time?
Yeah. Oh man. And then Todd was also asking, what's the number 1 pick now? And that, I mean, that changes things up, man. Because I tell you, I have, like, it's funny. I have my mock draft loaded, right? That I was gonna maybe share at the end of today's show. Yeah. But I'm like, oh man, that's just gonna be so different now. I feel like we can still maybe look at the mock draft at the end of the show, but I might catch some criticism, but it's just like it's gonna be different now because of what happened, And so then, like, are we going with like Jacobs and Dillon here then, or?
I mean, honestly, like, I still think that they'll probably go if Graham Barton's there, Duke. I could see that because he could play all over the line. I still go Cooper DeJean, man. If Cooper DeJean is there, man, I still take him because the truth is, even if you bring back Keyshawn Nixon, you really don't want him playing many nickel snaps, right? I'd rather have Cooper back there. The thing is, like, they're going to do what they did in 2019, I feel like there's going to be one more safety signing. You still got, like, Benny Sapp. You still got Anthony Johnson Jr., right? I could see them, like, grab another veteran, and then they draft in a couple players. Hey, man, Cole Bishop, Sion Vaki, and then Cooper DeJean. You get 2 of those 3, and then you put that in with the veterans. I'm telling you, like, I could see this kind of doing the same thing what they did with, like, the Smith brothers, and they got Rashawn Gary in the first round. But boy. Like, and that's another thing too. Like, right now it's just Emmanuel Wilson and Jacobs, right? If we could somehow sneak out and get Blake Corum, if we can get Jalen Wright or Jonathan Brooks or someone like that, and you get someone like Jonathan Brooks, you're gonna need him to recover from his ACL. But like everybody else, the talent that's out there in this year's draft is still pretty decent. But they said that the running back. It's like you're not seeing any first, second round running backs. You're seeing a lot of 3rd through 6th round running backs because of just the talent, right? Like there's no Bijan Robinson in this draft, and so because of that, like I'm really looking forward to seeing what Goody does here going forward. Because man, that 25th pick, I mean, who knows? He could move up if he likes a guy really good, like what I'm saying, like, or he could just move back and grab more picks. And we already got shit ton picks, but man, I'm excited.
And like you said, though, we're not even done yet. So it's like, how much do I want to like invest digging into another mock draft here soon? It's just like, I feel like I got to let this heat slow down. Good question here about how are we replacing Runyon? Was that where we go first round in the draft?
I think so. I mean, the thing is, this draft is so heavily talented in wide receiver and offensive line. Like, I could see that. Like, there's a lot of, like, marquee wide receiver talent in the 1st and 2nd round, then it kind of drops off a little bit. But, like, offensive line when it comes to tackles and guards, man, it is just a plethora of players that we can get. I think – I don't know if Sean Ryan is that answer. I mean, I like him to be, but I don't know. Man, like, if we can grab, like, Jackson Powers out of freaking Oregon or, Barton out of Duke, I mean, honestly, you can't go wrong with either one of those picks, and I think you'd be sitting good. Like, whichever way you kind of roll, and there's some guys out there like Dalton Reisner, who played in Denver and then got picked up by the Vikings. He's played all over the interior. He would be a great pickup too. The thing is, like, have you seen the money that these guys are getting on the offensive line? They're paying these guards and tackles like some crazy money, man. So I'm
Well,
kind
they
of hoping
deserve
we
it,
wait.
man.
I kind of hope we wait,
Yeah.
either draft or like later on in a week or so. Like Wednesday, Thursday, whoever's still out there, maybe they'll take a prove it deal and try to run with it. But man, I'm hyped, man. It's crazy because if we be doing mock drafts all the time, right? Now I feel like when you do a mock draft, like you can really have your pick of the litter and not really have to be pigeonholed into like grabbing somebody because you feel like you need to fill a need,
Yeah. And like what you're saying about like Cooper still grabbing him, I'm still open to that idea as well.
Yep.
Because it's like it's already been said that he's going to play all over the field. He's not going to be just safety or just cornerback.
Right.
And so, to me, it'd be nice to have multiple guys in that defensive secondary that can play multiple positions, whether they play on the outside, play the nickel. So, man, our safeties are upgraded from last year already.
Yeah, 100%.
McKinney is the perfect fit for what Hafley I think is going to do with this defense too, which just makes me stoked, man. Because Nick Collins was probably my favorite Packer safety of all time, and we've been needing a dude back there, I think, since he left. So
Nick Collins are truth, man. I can't watch highlights of him without just getting teary-eyed, just imagining, like just seeing like what 36 would have been like if he had not broke his damn neck in 2011. Like we repeat. I think we repeat. So you're right though. Like we failed out with HaHa. Now we got McKinney, and I'm really looking forward to seeing dude, the guys that are coming out too, like the kid out of Georgia, Javon Bullard. They say he's like another like Nick Collins a breed. He's a second, third round pick kind of guy, and he tested extremely well. And he plays a slot. I think he plays a block safety, and he plays nickel, right? I'm just saying, man, we just have so many options now. That's the cool thing. And someone over here talking about some damn T. Higgins to the pack. Look, I don't want anything to do with Higgins. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not trying to pay nobody all that kind of money with a guy that has like hamstrings that's probably worse as mine. I mean, that dude, he's a talent, but he can't stay healthy to save his life. I mean, he need to go do some like freaking rear-legged deadlift, some shit. I don't know, but no, I don't want Higgins, dog. I'm good. I just want us focusing on the offense line. I think Michael Allen's 100% right, dude. Like when it comes down to it, they don't need a first-round pick, but if they do it, like you got to protect the franchise. I mean, that's what it always comes down to. Right? And Green Bay has always been really great about getting this amazing talent in the late rounds, but you can't bank on that. Right. And what's scary is the last time they actually had a really good first round offensive lineman was Brian Bulaga, because Derek Sherrod freaking destroyed his whole right leg and he never was the same again. And then I remember what was the dude? Jason Spriggs, the second round pick, who was just absolute garbage. But Brian Bulaga is the last time he got someone that was actually worth the damn in the first round. And I don't mind us trying to make that kind of move again, especially if the talent is there. I mean, if you're not going to have to really move up if you don't want to, but I just remember when we traded to get, like, we got BJ Raji and then Ted Thompson traded back up and got Clay Matthews because he wanted these guys, right? And I feel like Brian kind of did that like 2 years ago with Quay and Devontae Wyatt. So I don't know, man. Sometimes if you know what you need, just go for it. Fuck it. Like, what do you got? What do you got to lose, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just like you said, we're spending money, right? We're spending money that we normally don't. We're making moves, but we're not sitting on a couple of dead contracts anymore, right? Mm-hmm. So that's given us the way to do this. So who do you think? Let's hear it in the comments section. I want to hear from you too, Umar. Who's still out there? I know I see T. Higgins popping up, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Who's out there that you think we could still grab this evening or tomorrow? If there's any names that come to your head.
Man, I think I threw out some of them already. I mean, I think the biggest ones for me are like, linebacker. I feel like we should definitely get somebody that's out there. I know Jerome Baker that's out there. He played in Miami. He was under Campanelli when Campanelli was the linebacker coach and run coordinator in Miami. He's actually a pretty good talent too, Georgia kid, right? And then you still got you still got Jordan Fuller, you still have Deshaun Gibson. That's always secondary stuff for me, man. I'm always like, you got a guy like in Hafley who is known for kind of coaching up secondaries and making them freaking outstanding. So I'm all about just like, trying to infuse as much talent as you can on that side of the field, because there is a pretty dramatic drop off when it comes to certain players in the secondary in the draft. But right now, I have to go back and look at the free agencies. But I know, like, for Reem right now, like, if we can get Jerome Baker somehow, I would be pretty hype about that. Look, there's two guys too, Devin White and Patrick Queen. I don't think we'll be able to get Queen because I think he's going to go. I think he ends up in Seattle. I think he follows McDonald to Seattle. I think that's a foregone conclusion. Devin White has fallen off a cliff, and I don't know if it's injuries. I don't know if it's just, maybe not some confidence in the gameplay. I don't even know, man. But you take a flyer on him. I don't know. He might be sick, man. I'm sorry. I could see him. I could see him doing some nasty stuff on this defense. I mean, the dude's still a beast. He's an LSU guy. Hey, man, sign me up. What about you? What do you think?
I'm there with you. Michael, I agree with you. Queen is going to go to Seattle. He's going to fit a system out there.
He's like, I'm
out on Devin White. Yeah, it's just like, I want to see recent production. Otherwise, I want to see like a 1-year prove it deal for someone like Devin White. I'm willing to take some veterans on the cheap, but there are some guys that linemen don't come cheap. Usually double digits. For looking for some guys. I'm all about getting into that draft now. I wanted to dig into that draft after this time because I think we've made some big moves. I still want to see something at cornerback, whether that's free agency or the draft. Right? We don't know what Stokes is going to be ever.
Yep.
I'm just like open, and like now that I see that the Packers have opened their pocketbook, it has opened my mind and it's opened my heart to I just got to let it go. I got to let them do their thing and not try to be the armchair GM or anything like that.
I can do that for you, bro. I've been talking all kinds of shit. I've been talking all kinds of shit, dog. It's terrible. Yeah. But you're right, though. Good.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, we spent some money today, and it's gonna come and go in waves. I think that I'm still gonna be like, shit, I can't believe we let Jones go still. Like, what the heck?
That also hurts, man.
I don't think we know the full story there, and so
they weren't gonna pay. He didn't want to take a pay cut again. Like, he took a pay cut last year, and then had an amazing week 1 game, and then he was out for most of the season. But then one of the main reasons why we made it to the playoffs. I mean, if we're being real, Jordan goes on a heater, but he goes on a heater because of Aaron Jones, right? So I don't know if he was really inclined on taking a pay cut. Maybe he would have worked out a better contract to get something similar to what Jack Jacobs did. But I don't blame him for saying, nah, F that. I'm not going to take another pay cut, right? Like, okay, you got Jacobs. That's great. But, I'm the one that's been here. I'm the one that's actually not only have I produced, I'm probably one of the most – I think he's the lead rusher in Green Bay right now. But on top of that, too, he's such an amazing locker room guy. Like, those guys do not – they don't come around every day. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that, you have to kind of when they traded away Rasul Douglas, that was another guy who I felt like was a really good locker room guy, right? Things worked out. Carrington Valentine stepped up, but that leadership was gone. And now we're slowly cutting away the leadership, right? Someone was saying the last Ted Thompson draft pick that's on the team right now is Kenny Clark. So I'm like, hey man, don't touch Kenny Clark. I'm sorry. He needs to retire Packer somehow. He's still performing at a high level, right? And then someone had mentioned here, talk about Eric Armstead. Eric Armstead has gotten paid hand over fist by the Niners. You could bring him in and just be like, hey, dog, you've already got paid. You're getting paid right now because you got cut. Why don't you come to Green Bay for a couple of years, just chase a ring because you ain't been able to get one in the Niners because, they be choking this shit away every freaking year. So you might as well try it with us. Maybe you can help us get over the hump. I'm just saying.
I'm down. I am totally down for that. Just any big move, any big name, bring him on in. We touched on Savage leaving, right? He signed with the Jags. He's out. It's like, all right, see you later, man. It's
sorry, man.
It's the Jags have made the most Jags move this week, right? They went and got themselves Mac Jones, right? And now they went and got themselves Darnell Savage. It's like they're preparing for their retirement in Florida a little early. But I don't know, man. Let's bring my mock draft up.
Go for it.
and we can tear it apart now and see what we're thinking here, right?
Yeah.
In my mock draft, Cooper came off the board early, so I went with Kool-Aid. And I'm honestly, man, if Ja and Kool-Aid were our cornerbacks, there's only one thing I could say about that, and that's oh yeah. And and so I'm still like I am totally still cool with going secondary in the first, and then with our second pick, pick 41, going offensive line. And I would be fine with like changing that too. Like if we went offensive line first round, secondary in the second round. But we do have 2 second-round picks, so I'd be cool with within those first 3 picks. I want to see secondary and offensive linemen. What about you? What about you in those first 3 picks? Right, we got a pick in round 1 at 25. Then in round 2, we got picks 41, 57. You can throw me some names or throw me positions that you want to see.
No, I think I
love
Kool-Aid, dude. I've been following Kool-Aid since he was in high school because of his name and the fact like the way his parents named him after, like they were just trying to like they thought it was a really cool name or something like that, and just the fact that he had such a peculiar name, I stuck with it. Right, the guy can play.
Yeah.
Him having that foot injury where he couldn't test and he had like the fracture in his foot, that kind of worries me. But it's more of a fracture than it's like a ligament thing, so I can roll with that. And I feel like you can maybe even get him with the second round pick instead of the first round pick. But your 5 picks right here are solid. Like I think Jordan Morgan will probably go inside, even though he plays tackles. He goes
Absolutely.
below the
that's what we
yeah, we always do that, right? And he goes
Yeah.
below the 33-inch, like requirement for Green Bay when it comes to tackles. Edgerrin Cooper is like a dream for me. He just looks like a man with a hair on fire. I think he would be amazing. Cameron Kitchens literally has a very similar profile to Xavier McKinney when it comes to his 40 and stuff like that. I hope he improves on his times at the pro day, but him in the 3rd round, who was literally a bona fide first-round pick last year, and he didn't come out. And then, dude, Jalen Wright is literally going to be Alvin Kamara 2.0. That's just I know that I'm not trying to coach the helmet or anything like that. But I'm just saying like that guy is talented. He's silky smooth. And I'm pulling out my Zohan here, but the way he runs, he played in the SEC. He actually split carries, so he has not as much tread on his legs as most running backs would in the SEC. He'd be solid, man. And there was something that somebody had said. I want to post that one. I want to cover it real quick because it's something not about this, but I think we should address it really quick. And it was about paying somebody. Where the hell did it go? Where'd that Bama go? There it is. All right, real quick. No.
Do you guys feel like you may have overpaid for Love for just half a season of games?
We haven't paid him yet, but when we do pay him, he's going to get more money than what Kirk Cousins has on 1.5 legs, considering the fact that Bama got like a torn Achilles and he's literally got like almost $180 million for 4 years, and he ain't won shit, and he's never led the league in anything, so maybe percentage completions. Like, come on, like, what are we doing here? So, no, I don't think so. Like, I think that if you know what you got, you know what you got, and I think you better lock it in now than having to worry about it later. This is not the Trubisky thing. Like, Trubisky – the argument is Trubisky, where like he had a rookie year that was pretty decent. He didn't have a year like Jordan Love. He had a decent year, but he also had a top 3 defense. I think the number 1 defense in the league with Khalil Mack, who was the defensive player of the year that year. So we didn't have a defense like that. We had a Joe Barry led defense, was garbage as fuck. So I don't even know. Like, no, Jordan Love was out there killing it, and dude was a heater, man. He was the best quarterback in the league for half a season. So yeah, like. You locked that up. I was like,
absolutely.
Yeah, like it wasn't like he had fluke games. Like he actually looked good. And that thing is he looked good with an offensive line that was still trying to get their shit together and with a team that was the youngest team in the league. And you locked that shit in and call it a day. I was like, the guy that sent that comment is my big brother, and he's a Steelers fan, so he's just mad right now because he got, Russell Dangerous Wilson over there, Mr. Limited. That's all good. I understand. He just they upset. You know what I'm saying? That's all good. I feel you. But no, if I were you though, like I think the way you went about it, like going secondary or offensive line with those first 2 picks, you can interchange those and still be fine, right? Linebacker to me is like huge, and there's like literally maybe like 3 or 4 linebackers that are actually worth a damn in this draft. Like Cooper's is probably the number 1 linebacker, right? Cedric Gray out of North Carolina. He's at the Tar Heel. He's amazing. And then there's one kid out of Washington who's really, really good too. So like those are three. And there's a fourth one. I don't remember who it is. But I'm telling you, man, like just doing it just like this, you literally drafted for best player available and for need at the same time, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. But it worked out. Like at first I was mad because Cooper wasn't on the board. I was like, of course, the first time I go to do a mock draft, Cooper's off the board. But then like it just went well for me. I love what True North here has to say. I just emerged from a darkness retreat. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, right. I was like, look at you, dog. It's funny. Marcus is gone, dog. We still taking shots at this man. Like he literally did a podcast like a week ago, which was like all ball. Like it was just talking, like Keep Hammering podcast, but it was just all football, man. And that was the Aaron Rodgers that I love and fell in love with, right? Not all this conspiracy theory, crazy shit. Like that was him just talking football and just bringing up things that were just absolutely amazing, man. That was cool. But no, yeah, you just came from Darkness Retreat, man. Trust me, better go check Twitter. There's a lot of stuff that just went down in the last like damn week.
Yeah. I love what Heath Soder here saying. Cost of QB is only going up. In 3 years, Love will be cheap. And I agree with that, right? We're going to probably sign something. We're going to sign him to a deal. And then people are going to be like, we're overpaying this guy who hasn't done much. But I think he's shown enough. And I have all the faith in him and the direction that this team is going. And I think Heath Soder is right. Like in 3 more years, it's going to be even more expensive.
The cap went up like what, 30 million, right? Didn't the cap go up something ridiculous, right? 30 million, right? It's going to keep going up because all the TV deals. So yeah, you lock that. Anything that we pay Jordan Love now is going to probably get like washed anyways. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the big quarterbacks already got paid, but the kids that are getting drafted, that got drafted last year, and the kids that are going to get drafted this year, their contracts are going to start coming up, and they're going to be the ones that are going to get paid like wazoo, right? So
yeah.
I'm like, lock him in because when you have a franchise quarterback, that's the most important position on the field that you don't have to worry about anymore. So I would just say you just pay that and you just don't even think about it. If we can get him to do like a Patrick Mahomes kind of deal, sign me up, dog. That looked like a big deal on this surface, but really it was a team friendly deal. And he's still like giving the Kansas City Chiefs concessions to be able to like retain some marquee players like Chris Jones and stuff like that. So
and Love is the type of dude that'll take a deal like that too. Like you can tell that he loves being with his boys and he wants to win with his guys around him, right?
Yeah.
But now I'm just gonna run through my draft quick here, just like some notes that I have about these guys.
Okay.
Like Kool-Aid, right? Physical, he'll get bump and run. He's got ball skills. He stays composed during times of chaos as well. Good communicator on and off the field. Jordan Morgan, right? Explosive, high energy type athlete. He's got good lateral movement. He's got good knee bend for his size. And like you said, Amr, I think if we went that way, he'd be moved to the inside.
Yep.
Edgerrin Cooper, right? Plays with his hair on fire. He's got a great initial burst, great athleticism. He's the guy that's going to be getting snaps on the edge immediately. Cameron Kitchens, right? Like, I think you still go safety here. This is a guy you bring in, and you have, like, right? You already compared him to Xavier McKinney. You bring him in, he's going to learn from McKinney. Then you got 2 guys running around out there, playing. They're versatile in their coverage abilities. And I just love the fact of just being strong at the safety position. And then Jalen Wright, we're going to find value in running backs in the 3rd and 4th round. I think that's just the way it goes nowadays. But like you said, he's coming from the SEC. Love it. Dig it. I think as we go forward here, and like we said, we're going to be throwing up some mock drafts here, leading all the way up to the draft. I think I might have to hold on to that one because that I might have knocked it out of the ballpark, the first time. Because like when I went for it, I was like, "Damn, man, I look like I know what I'm doing almost."
Hey, man, you're doing something, man. You're doing something, man.
Yeah, I like this here. Yes, cut Deguara, start Pearson, sign a halfback in the draft, but cut Deguara. Yeah, that's.
Isn't he a free agent or no? Or he has one more year. Maybe he has one more year.
Yeah, it's time for. Yeah, he can.
Yeah, he's same draft as Dylan. So I think they're both free agents. Yeah. I agree.
Okay,
So
so then,
hold on, let me put this real quick. Sorry, man. Soda said some shit.
yeah, no, you're good.
Yeah, Cole Bishop, man. Look, hey, I'm not gonna lie. If you can get the whole Utah free safety and strong safety, you get Simone Vaki and you get Cole Bishop. Hey, man, sign me up. Pants off. I'm good to go with that right there, man. Because they both ran like the wind. They both hit. They both can cover well. And I'm just saying, like, we're not used to what we're gonna have on defense. Like, we're so used to playing this shell defense, playing cover 4, cover 3, playing off, just trying to keep everything in front of you, to where you're going to now be going back to a defense similar to what Dom Capers had, but like more so like vision break and like, having more eyes on the ball, trying to make plays, trying to disrupt, trying to man press. I'm telling you, like, everything that we're doing on defense, we have no idea what it's going to look like. And it's kind of scary to think that, but just imagining how it could be, it's awesome, man. I can't wait. It's gonna be amazing to think, like, with all this players that we're getting and just the talent that we're kind of acquiring. We haven't had a defense like this, I feel like, since Dom Capers days. Because even when Penn was there, Penn was good, don't get me wrong, but like, he could have stopped the run to save his life, you know what I'm saying? And man, I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped. I'm so hyped, I'm damn tired, dog. I'm exhausted. The ridiculousness on social media today, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like here we now aggression.
Right,
now aggression
right.
D. No
right,
more Barry Vanilla Soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think like you're saying, Ummer, like a little nervous about the defense. What is it going to look like? How are they going to gel together? But for whatever reason, I don't know. Just the way that Hafley spoke, the way that players have spoke about Hafley, I just don't feel nervous. And like, so I and like one of the things I thought about too is like, well, maybe injuries, like that's, potential injuries, but right. We brought in a strength and conditioning guy that's supposed to be, top notch. And so I'm feeling good about the staff moves we've made. I'm feeling good about the free agency moves we've made. The only thing, I guess, the only salt in the wound is for me is Aaron Jones, really. Still, I'll come back to that. As much as I would have loved to see DB come back and like crush it for the Packers,
right?
I just felt like that knee was up, and I hope he goes to New York and pairs up with his bunkmate Aaron Rodgers, and they can go do their thing.
Yeah, man. Like, you're right though.
I'm gonna prayer circle and summon the football gods for a Packers Jets Super Bowl. That's what I want. If your Packers will go back to the playoffs this season, you're absolutely right. Brandon Quay Pro Bowl this year, move him around. I think we've talked about that, haven't we, Ummer? About like Quay moving him around different linebacker positions. I could even see him, getting on the on the end there in the 4-3 defense and putting his hand in the dirt. I think he's got the strength and the athleticism to do that. So I think you're gonna see a lot of different looks from Hafley. It's gonna maybe look like chaos out there, but I think he's gonna get all these guys on the same page, and it's just gonna be, I don't know, man. Like I'm feeling really confident right now, and I think I'm still on the high from us making the playoffs and winning a playoff, but
100%.
with the things that are going on right now with this off season is keeping that high. It's keeping me up here, man.
I don't blame you, man. I think everyone that left that game felt like we had a chance to go to the Super Bowl this year. And it sucks because I really think we did. But the truth is it's the bittersweetness of the silver lining is that it's good that they lost the way they did, because they now have a fire inside them to kind of like know that, hey, man, we were so close. You tell me we couldn't beat Detroit again, that we wouldn't be able to take a chance and go at Kansas City again? Hell yeah. But the truth is like, now you know that. And NFC, I think, still is not that great. They're still weak. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. There's not very many teams that are then. The Niners are not getting better. They're getting worse. Let's just be real. The number one, the team that represents NFC, they're losing more than they're gaining. And they have to cut a lot of weight because of all the heavy loaded contracts that they have, right? So, you're going to see new teams emerge. But for us in our division in particular, Minnesota's taking a step back. Chicago's whatever. But, when it comes down to it, Detroit's going to be our biggest competitor. And even then, Detroit's making moves too. I mean, they got Davenport. They went and traded for Carlton Davis, who has always given the Packers trouble. And, yeah, I mean, Detroit's not going anywhere. They went and got Swift as well too. So I feel like, what I'm saying? Like, we're going to still get some competition within our division, which is not a bad thing. I think if anything, that's awesome. Like, I think trial by fire, and, through adversity, you get better and stronger. You don't have like a cupcake schedule trying to get through things, So
yeah,
it's gonna be tight. Like you said, though, like defensively, Omar got it over here. Been talking about it, man. Like an aggressive defense, chaos at the line, man press. Just God knows, it's gonna be a completely new world, man. And riding that high from that playoffs where people had us out for, they had us dead. They had it dead in the water. Like we weren't going to do nothing. We were going to be drafting a quarterback this year. LaFleur was going to get fired. Gutekunst was going to be on a hot seat. All of this crazy stuff was going on. And then, look what happened. Like we turned it around, and Jordan Love just literally took the youngest team in the NFL and was 2 games away from a Super Bowl, and literally was one drive away, because if Joe Barry held his defense that one last time, I'm sorry, I'm going to keep bringing it up. It's just, But regardless of that, nonetheless, we in a new world, man. And I'm just refreshing I don't mean to be rude to you, because when I look away, I promise you, I'm not trying to
you're good, bro. You're good.
If something else pops up, because I kind of want to see if we pick up anybody else tonight, man.
Yeah, I got a tracker over here too. You're totally good. Hey, so like, we talked a lot about the Packers. We're stoked. I'm putting my money on them being the king of the North again next year. We're going to win the division. But let's talk about let's like I want to respect everyone's time as well here. So something I want to get into for a few minutes before we jump off is like, let's look at the rest of this division then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Todd just said Vikings quarterback ?
Sam Darnold's what I'm hearing.
Ghost.
6 cents in this joint.
Omer here, Minnie is going to the basement. Bears D is adding even more. They will be tough. Detroit will be tough again.
Yeah.
So the Bears though, like what's there's no takers on Fields, right? I saw, like, I didn't listen to anybody, but I saw some links to some people ranting on about the minimal interest in Fields. And it's just like, how are you mad about that? How are you surprised by that? So like Bears got to be going QB at number 1, or do they trade back a little bit? You think the Bears? And I mean, they still got to go QB, no matter what here.
They would. It is the Bears, so they could do some stupid shit. I'm not gonna lie. Like if they somehow don't take Caleb Williams, I'm going to be just beside myself. But the truth is, they're probably going to go Caleb. But for some stupid reason, they don't go Caleb. They trade out the pick. They do whatever. Good Lord, man. Like, that would be terrible. Because it's funny, like, they've been trying to trade Justin Fields for a month now. And they couldn't. They've got no takers. Now they're coming out, supposedly coming out and telling people that Fields was never available for trade. And it's like, dude, like, you're just making it worse, bro. Shut your mouth. See what happens. Like, damn, dog. Like, what are you doing? But Bears got, they got Byard. I like Byard. I thought he was an amazing player in Tennessee. I felt like his time in Philly was, I don't think anyone had a good time on defense in Philly, to be honest with you. I don't think anyone had a good time on team for Philly last year. And them getting him is good, but like, he's a 30-year-old safety who did have a down year, and it's the Bears, bro. Like, I mean, they cut A. Jackson for that. It's like, all right, well, I get it. If you think you're doing something, and Jalen Johnson is a great cornerback. PFF has him ranked as the number 1 cornerback in the league last year. But Jalen Reed and Devontae Wicks and Christian Watson ate his lunch like it was no tomorrow. I have a fucked up joke, but basically they're fucking him so much that he got addicted to sex and he had to go see a therapist. Like his shit was all fucked up. He got tired of getting fucked by them boys. I was like, oh my God, that's terrible. That's terrible, dog. That's terrible. Oh my Lord. But look, so when it comes to the Minnesota making moves, I mean, they're grabbing some guys here and there, but again, Kawisi, I don't know what he's doing. Because you let Kirk Cousins go, but how do you keep Jefferson by telling him that you're gonna bring in Sam freaking Darnold? Like, really?
Yeah.
And then if you bring in
Yeah.
JJ McCarthy, let's say they draft JJ, because I think he'll be there at 7. I don't know. Is that enough to keep?
I don't yeah, JJ
Oh, no.
McCarthy doesn't do it for me, man.
No.
Um,
Hey, it
you
comes from a
know,
cool
so
offense. Yeah, I get all that, but
Minnie's gonna have to probably reach for a quarterback,
yeah,
or they're gonna be
maybe.
playing a rookie quarterback, or they're gonna be starting with Sam Darnold and hoping that rookie then is midseason is ready to move forward. Like the Lions are gonna be tough again, but I mean, Jared Goff, I know he's made it. He made it to a Super Bowl, right?
Mhm.
And he lost the Super Bowl. But I just, Goff does not inspire me at all. So I just really feel confident in this Packers team getting that North Crown back. We know this offense, I think, is going to be more prolific, more efficient next year. We just got to patch up that offensive line. We have the receivers, the tight ends.
Right.
We're gonna have the running back, that we need. I think we go get a running back that can take snaps right away. I just don't know what's not to like, and
Right.
as we approach, some people also talk about the like leading up to the draft, like trading players or
Mhm.
going on like a trade. Is there players on this team that we can use for trade bait?
The
Are
picks,
we
maybe, right? I know
snacking?
the picks was the
Yeah, I think.
yeah. He was saying
Yeah,
pick.
I
Like,
think
he was saying
picks.
that a lot, but I mean, the only guy I really wanted to trade for was like freaking Buda Baker, but we kind of fixed that, so I don't really think there's a need for that now.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, like Buda was the man, but shit, I was like, we got Xavier now, we good to go. So no,
yeah,
I'm with you on that though. I think like there's players out there to be got. I mean, but you gotta see what situations they're in, right? Because anybody that you get that's in the 4th or 5th year of their deal and their first round pick, you're gonna have to pay them anyways. You ain't really trying to trade away draft capital for a player that could be a 3-year investment for a 1-year investment, right? And I mean that's what
yeah,
Philadelphia did. That was an argument that Andy Herman made that Philadelphia gave up 2 picks and a player for Kevin Byard. Okay, so that was an
yeah,
investment that they planned on like possibly extending and keeping. They didn't even resign him. So they gave up 2 picks, a second and a 5th round pick, and a player, and then you don't even decide to resign him. Clearly, there's something going on there where they're like, it's not even worth the squeeze ain't worth the juice. So that's the argument I would make. Like, if you decide to go get a player, it has to be a guy that like, because look at McKinney. McKinney's 24, turns 25 in August, right? So he's
yeah,
a young dude, and you're gonna have him to his 29 year. At that point, you either resign him or you may cut him loose because he's coming up to year 30, right? But
yeah,
bro, I'm just saying, like, Goody, for all the hate that he's gotten because of that 2020 and 2021 draft or whatever, and honestly, we can't even hate on the 2020 draft because you got Jordan Love out of it. The truth is, like, he does make pretty smart moves, right? Like, he's pretty money conscious and talent conscious in free agency. He hasn't really struck out minus Sammy Watkins. I don't really see him striking out that much, right? So I'm really looking forward to seeing, like, all right, what he's going to kind of go from here because getting these 2 guys was smart. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I just remember watching last year Josh Jacobs, right? Like, Josh Jacobs had every single damn injury known to mankind, and he played every single game. I think he missed 1 game, maybe 2 games, and he had torn this or strained this or this and that. And now my man just going out there and just damn running for 100 yards. I'm just like, what the hell is that? Like, okay. And I was like, I thought it was a pipe dream. I thought he was going to Baltimore. I thought he was in Baltimore. I thought that was a done deal.
He seems like a Baltimore guy for
Yeah,
sure.
him and Henry,
Yeah.
Baltimore guys all day. And I could still see
Yeah.
Henry going there too. But and again, Baltimore loves Alabama players too. But man, no, I don't know, man. This is gonna be a good time, man.
These are 2 big signings, and honestly, so say you're looking there on the tracker to see if we pull anyone else tonight.
Yep.
Say if this is it. Those moves are like the moves that we've made are the moves. That's it. There's no more moves the Packers make in free agency. Are you satisfied? Are you satisfied right now?
Yes, 100%. I'm torn because we lost Aaron Jones. I'll be completely honest.
Yeah.
And I'm also torn because I didn't want us to lose David Bakhtiari. I kind of want to see if he can come back, play well. But he was going to take a pay cut. Neither guy was going to take a pay cut, right? So, but to get the guys that we got, yeah, I'm stoked, bro. I'm hype. I'm stoked. Like, I'm telling you, like, I really didn't know how the hell to react when it came to Jacobs. Like, that was just like, what the, and I was freaking out because I thought Philly was going to get McKinney because everyone's like, oh, Philly's in. They got all this money and they dropped a shit ton of money on Saquon. But I was like, they still got money left. And then my boy texted me. He goes, hey, you guys got McKinney. I'm like, what? And he's a Philly dude, right? And he's like, y'all stole him from us. I was like, I guess so. Shit. I was like, all right. Well, and I saw the contract. I was like, I see how. 17 a year.
Yeah.
You're going to get that, man.
Oh, yeah. No, we definitely made some great moves today.
Yeah.
And
I'll make sure I have my mock draft. I've been doing mock draft like every other day and posting that shit on Twitter. So I know for next Monday I'll have one ready for us to talk about.
Yeah.
It's different now. Now we can now with free agency, we can actually kind of, mock draft differently, right? So
yeah, and we'll get into that. And I'll just get into like my last words here.
Yeah.
Man, just free agency is here. I changed the landscape of our draft just a bit. I am absolutely stoked, right? With the moves that we've made today. I am satisfied with what we've done.
Mm-hmm.
I know Omer here in the said like he thinks there's gonna be some more minor deals, and I feel you. I think there's some more small moves. We find some prove it deals or some veteran minimal deals to bring in. But I'm stoked, man. I've been distracted with the beginning of March Madness and college basketball is ramping up. But today was a pleasant surprise. I'm absolutely pumped. I think it's April 26th is the first day of the draft. It can't come soon enough. But I'm going to be stoked to come back here next Monday and revisit that. All of free agency and to. We'll each have our draft and we'll put it up on there. We'll share our draft boards. But go Pack, go, baby.
Hell yeah, man. My last word is going to be, man, this is just the beginning. All right, we don't even know what's going to happen next. And the thing is, think about it like this. I think Fields Yates said this too, where he said that when it comes to player acquisition with free agency, it's not just like these first 2 weeks. It is literally from now until forever, basically, until the season's over. You can pick up players at any time. Sometimes obviously you don't get the marquee players, but there's always guys on the street that you never know when they come to your team, they could click. And then like Devondre Campbell is a prime example of that. He's a middling player until he came here. He had an all-pro season. Of course, injuries kind of sapped that away. So hey, man, let's just enjoy the ride. You guys, if you guys follow us on Twitter, I try to, I kind of be like just popping off sometimes. Just I try to be everyone else's voice. Reason or illogicalness, because I do talk crazy sometimes. But at the end of the day, just know that I'm just here.
Yeah.
We're all here just to get the message out, and just for all of us to kind of like really enjoy what we're going to be coming into this next year. I can't wait, man. This is going to be awesome. Go Pack, baby.
Yeah. Well said, Omer. Well, hey, that's our time here for Coast to Coast Packers. I can't thank you enough. Nearly 400 of you dropping in today. To listen to a couple knuckleheads talk about Packers free agency. I feel honored. I feel blessed. Y'all have made my freaking day, baby. Drop in next week. Find me on Twitter at Bernie Bango. And same cheese time, same cheese channel next week, baby.
Thank you, everybody, for joining, man. This is one of our bigger turnouts, so hopefully we can keep this going, and we have some more great stuff to talk about next week. Looking forward to it.
All right. Peace.
All right. Take care, everyone. Bye.